Hi everybody, welcome to another episode of Rebecca Paisley Healing, where we talk about mental health, Ayurveda, yoga, and general wellness, keeping you up to date and helping you live a healthier lifestyle, choosing healthier options so that you can feel better in your mind, body, and soul. Um, I've been in my own dark places at times and have worked to get myself out of them, and I use my own experiences to help shine light and support others along their journey to their higher self. Today's episode is going to be about doubting yourself. So it's about mindset, your mental health. We all doubt ourselves. We all think we have problems or are not enough or can't do something because of whatever reason. And these doubts don't necessarily need to live in our head. They can be transformed into something useful. So, what is self doubt? Self doubt is when you start questioning your abilities. Questioning your abilities in any kind of way, being indecisive, not being able to make up your mind. This is doubt. Wondering if I should do this or if I should do that. There's two options, maybe three options, maybe four, and you don't know which one to choose. You don't know which direction to go in. Things that can cause this doubt to happen are when you have people in your life that are narcissistic and put you down, make you feel like you are the problem 24/7. When you act like a drill sergeant on yourself, this is also a problem that causes self-doubt. Because when you act like a drill sergeant on yourself, you are trying to be perfect. You're trying to meet these very high standards. And it's not going to work when you set the standards so high that they're not actually realistically achievable. So stop being the drill sergeant on yourself. Take it a little bit easier. Look at more small steps to take that you can succeed at, that maybe you have 5 small steps you take and that's your big step for the day. And by having these smaller steps, instead of drill sergeanting yourself into saying that, no, I have to do the 100 push-ups, 500 burpees, 200 squats, like, no, you don't have to do that. Be easy on yourself, take the smaller steps, and stop pounding yourself to be so perfect. This is another problem of doubting yourself. You start doubting your abilities because you're setting your standards so high that now you wonder, can I ever meet my goals? And you start getting down on yourself, and it's no good. A third reason that causes self-doubt is past experiences. Let's say a dog bit you in the past. Maybe you're going to doubt going up to the next dog. You're going to wonder, is he going to bite me too? And that's doubt creeping in. Maybe you failed a test in chemistry and you had to retake the class. So you doubt your ability to pass that class, even though maybe you knew the material and you just had a bad day and got test scared and screwed up the test. It's like you start to doubt your abilities. If you've gotten into a car accident, you're going to doubt the next time you're in a car if you are going to hit that car or not, just depending on the circumstances. Doubt is created from your past experiences. And then the last reason that doubt is caused is that you have an internal fear of failing or succeeding. Something inside of you is terrified of, what if I succeed? Like, what does that look like? I'm scared, so I'm not going to do that. Or what if I fail? And you start doubting if you're going to fail or not. You start doubting if you're going to succeed or if you're going to fail. And whichever one you're afraid of, or maybe you're afraid of both, it's going to create this tension. So it's not, your success isn't going to happen. And that leads right into how self-doubt manifests in externally. And the first one is imposter syndrome, where you feel like you don't have the knowledge, you're not smart enough, you're not good enough, you're not qualified enough, you are going to do a bad job, and Johnny Boy over there could do a much better job than me. I'm just little old me, I'm no good. And that's imposter syndrome. You could have all the degrees in the world and still feel like you're not good enough. You could have 0 degrees and feel like you're not good enough. You could have one and feel like you're not good enough. It doesn't matter. Everybody on every scale at some point feels like they're not good enough. You have to overcome this thought pattern so that stop doubting your abilities because you've already done this type of job before. Like for me, I just had to restart my wellness shop after separating it from my ex-husband, and I was scared. A fear set inside of me that I wasn't good enough. I couldn't do it on my own. I don't have enough knowledge about herbs and soap and doing all of these things to run a shop on my own and do it all. But the fact of the matter is I've been freaking doing it. And it's like I had to sit there and have the own talk about my doubt and let it know, hey, you've done this before. You're just having to start from a clean slate. It's not a big deal. It's going to take a little bit of time, but you can do this. And it's like you have to have these little conversations with yourself, because if you don't, you're going to keep doubting yourself and just come into this little cocoon and never go accomplish any of your dreams or goals. And what the freaking fudge is that all about? You know, like you want to achieve your goals and go after them. So have the talk with your doubt, let it know it has no place here, and move on. So imposter syndrome, not feeling like you are good enough for the job. That's the first manifestation of self-doubt. The next one is self-sabotage. So we purposely procrastinate or turn things in late or don't do what we said we were going to do. And it prohibits us from meeting our goal. Maybe we said we were going to communicate more effectively, and then we don't, and then we also don't get what we want because we didn't communicate effectively. Like we sabotaged ourselves because we committed to communicating effectively, then we directly chose not to, and it caused us not to reach our goals. And these things happen with all sorts of scenarios. I mean, there's thousands of scenarios. So you have to get to a level of awareness where you realize what's happening. Like, oh, I'm avoiding that because if I do that, success could happen or I could fail. So it's like you're scared. Fear is also a big thing in this doubting process. And so it's like it stops you. And you teeter on this like seesaw, and you have to get off of it and see what you're doing to yourself. And then once you start realizing your habit of the sabotage, you'll start catching it earlier and earlier, and it will stop. It's a process. And then the third way that self-doubt manifests most commonly, I'm just giving the top three, there's other ways, is being indecisive because you're worried, because you are scared. So your worries and your fears create doubt in your mind. And this indecisiveness causes problems. It impedes you on your path. You have to weigh the pros, weigh the cons, and make a decision. You can't sit in limbo land forever. You can sit in limbo land for a little bit while you do your research, but you cannot sit there forever. If you sit there forever, nothing's ever going to get freaking done. So you have to decide. And the best way to decide is to make the list of pros and cons, and then you can clearly see the benefits and the non-benefits and decide what the best option is. It could be a simple decision. It could be as simple as, should I go to the grocery store Monday or Friday? Or it could be a very difficult decision of, should I get a divorce? Or should I marry this person? You know, and you weigh your pros, your cons, and you sort it out, and you make your decision. So indecisiveness is the third way that self-doubt manifests. And when you look at all three of these, imposter syndrome, self-sabotage, indecisiveness, you can see that when you carry out these manifestations, sorry, my mouth is a little dry. Your self-esteem starts to disappear. You start not believing in yourself anymore because you're so filled with doubt. You don't know if you can do anything. You don't know what you can accomplish. So it becomes your self-esteem is just, it gets eroded, and you start looking poorly at yourself and thinking that you're no good at anything. And so that's where you have to start talking back to your doubt. You cannot just live in this doubt. It can be a serious killer. And then there's certain signs to look for so that you can start noticing when you're doubting yourself. Like if you have a hard time accepting credit for a job well done, or compliments on your outfit, your shoes, your makeup, your eyebrows, whatever kind of compliment, having trouble accepting these and having trouble accepting the credit that you deserve, that's a sign that you doubted your abilities. And this shows up all the time. You turn in a report for work, your boss is like, oh my gosh, this is killer, thanks so much, blah, blah, blah. And you're just like, oh. And you don't feel like you should be getting praised. But really, you did a great job. Like, you should be happy and be full of confidence at that point. But when you're full of doubt about if you even did a good job, that compliment just kind of ricochets off of you. And then another sign that you're doubting yourself is just constantly looking for that reassurance of like, hey, you did a good job. Like, hey, good job, good job, good job. Like, you need to be given the credit or given the thanks in some way. Because if you're not given this credit, then you don't think you did a good job. It's like you have to receive something in order for you to acknowledge that it was a good job. And this could be gifts, this could be words, this could be anything as far as receiving goes, to know that you did a good job and it was worth it. Because sometimes you do things and you're so full of doubt that you don't even know, like, was it a good job? Like, was I supposed to do this? Was there a purpose? Like, I don't understand. And you get to this place where you just have no fucking clue. Sorry, YouTube. And it's scary because you have no clue. You have no clue at all of what to do. And you're just like looking for external validation to make sure that you're on the right path, but you're not listening to your inner self and checking in with yourself to find what you really deep down need and want to be on your path. So noticing when you are constantly, if you get upset when you don't get validation, notice that, because that's a sign that you doubted your abilities. And so there's doubt somewhere in there, and you need to look a little deeper at like what was I doubting? Why did I need the external validations? Another sign is just general low self-esteem. So this one's a little easier to become aware of. You're just constantly putting yourself down. You're not feeling that great. You're feeling lack of confidence. And yeah. And then not feeling like you're ever good enough is the other one. And, you know, you're constantly doubting yourself. These are just signs that doubt is present and needs to be worked through. And the best way to work through doubt is to look at option A, the beliefs, the values, the advantages, the disadvantages, and that the advantages, all of these things, and then the disadvantages and the cons and the negative aspects of it. And then you go to option B and you do the same thing. And then you look at both of them and you decide which one is going to be the best option. And that's the best way to start looking at doubt. You can write everything down. You can make everything in columns. You could make a spreadsheet on the computer, however you want to do it. And then you can see clear as day where the most pros are and what is going to be the best option for you. And sometimes it's still difficult even after you've laid everything out. But once you lay it all out, you can really decide, well, these cons are better than these cons. And these pros are a lot more. So I'm going to go with this option. So that's the best way to really look at your doubt and solve the problem of doubt. And another way of looking at it is doubting the doubt. Like when you notice that you're doubting, start to ask, why am I doubting? What is being doubted? And answer them. Like, why is there doubt here? And as soon as you have the answer, the doubt is usually resolved. There is no more doubt because you've made the decision. But of course, there's other ways to overcome doubt, and I'll give you a few examples or ways to do that. And it's just about remembering these tools in the moment, though. That's the hardest part. Like, I can list all of these things out to you that you can do that are going to make it better and make you less full of doubt. But remembering it in the moment when you're stressed out and confused and need to pick an option, like, is the hardest part. So raising your awareness through meditation is truly key, because you'll remember to take these pauses and find the appropriate tools for the situation before it gets out of hand. So definitely add meditation to your list of activities to do on a daily basis. And then, of course, you're going to want to practice self-compassion. Don't be hard on yourself. You're human. You're just trying your best every day. There's nothing to beat yourself up about. Just try your best to work through the day and flow through whatever life throws at you. And then also you can think about all the things you have accomplished. So when you're doubting yourself at work, remember the accomplishments you've already had at work that you've achieved. Or remember accomplishments from a previous job if you just started a new job. And recall these things so that you feel more confident in yourself. Mentally visualize the other achievement and bring back that sense of joy you felt when you achieved that other achievement, and then bring it into your day. So that's a good way to overcome doubt, is finding a previous achievement or scenario where you succeeded and came out alive on the other end, and attaching it to the current scenario and realizing, hey, I did this, so I can do this too. And do not compare yourself to others, because everybody's journey is different. Everybody's path is different. Some people are going to work through doubt for a long time. Other people are going to become very efficient and quick at it. It's just going to depend on the person and their own journey and what the universe has in store for them. So don't sit there and compare yourself to Jane or Joe. Just focus on you and working with your own mind and overcoming your own battles. And then also having supportive friends is very helpful, because then you have people to talk to through and talk the doubts out with. They can help you weigh your options a little bit better. They know you from a different point of view and can say, hey, but if you do it that way, remember that you hate this part of that, and giving you alternative perspectives. So it's important to have supportive friends and supportive friend group. It really is. It helps a lot. It's helped me a lot overcome a lot of the doubt that I experienced as starting this new venture. Even though it's kind of not a new venture, it is a new venture. And the doubt that surrounded it, I had to talk a lot to a licensed therapist and my family and my friends, and just getting it out there and working through it and building up my confidence and removing the doubt from the situation so I could be fully present now to create success in the business instead of mulling around in doubt and not getting anything done. So supportive friends is super important. And then you also have to remember that you are always your biggest critic. Always. You're always your biggest critic, but really you need to be your biggest cheerleader. So swap it around, become your cheerleader, and cheer on, because you don't need that inner critic telling you you can't do this, you aren't good enough, blah, blah, blah. Sorry, my computer turned off. I want to make sure it's still recording. And you have to be your biggest cheerleader. Put the critic aside. Put him in his place. Just like you have to talk back to the doubt, you need to talk back to that critic, because they are putting roadblocks in your way that don't need to be there. Just tell them to shut the F up. And then, like I said, I have a licensed therapist I work with, and spoke with him a lot about this new business venture and being nervous about it. And he reminded me that he was the one that reminded me that I've already done this before and I can do it again, and it's just going to take time. And once he reminded me of that, my confidence level shot up. So finding a professional is not a bad idea, especially if you're experiencing a lot of doubt or you're having a lot of life events happen all at once. The change can be overwhelming, and having a listening ear that can kind of guide you a little bit is super useful. If you're not really into the therapy thing, then maybe picking up a journal and writing out your thoughts throughout the day and looking back and reflecting, picking up on the thought patterns that you are having, noticing the negative self-talk, using it as a self-reflective tool for yourself. You can journal. That's a great option. And then the last thing about overcoming doubt is questioning your thoughts. So doubt the doubt. Be skeptical of what thoughts are coming into your mind space. You don't have to believe that you're not enough when it pops up in your brain because your boss just handed you some crazy assignment that you're doubting if you could do or not. Like, you don't have to believe the thought that, oh my God, you can't do this. Listen a little bit closer and you'll hear a whisper that says, no, yes, you can. And you have to, every time you listen to that whisper, it's going to get louder and louder every time. Eventually, the inner critic is going to be the thing whispering, and the cheerleader is going to be the one shouting that go for it, do it, you can do it, go ahead and go for it. Like, don't even question yourself. You got this, you're a pro. Like, that's what's going to happen. The more that you train your mind to think, I can do this, I am capable, I am enough, I am confident, I am worthy, the louder it becomes over time. So you have to do this for yourself. You have to. Start making doubt less and less in your life, and start being confident in your decisions, knowing what you want. But part of that is sitting down and getting honest with yourself, meditating, becoming familiar with your thoughts, truly listening to your inner self. It's work. It's inner work. It's fun if you make it fun. And it's, you start letting go of behaviors and habits and beliefs and realizing what life is really all about. And so that's what I have on doubting yourself. I just wanted to share this because I've been going through a lot of doubt, as I said, going to this new business venture that's kind of new and on my own and not with any support any longer. So it's been a doubtful process that I've slowly become confident in, and I'm feeling confident in sharing it now. And there's just been a lot of doubt in my life as far as what's going to happen next with my own life and my own future. So I wanted to share with you guys about doubting yourself and what it is, the causes, how to overcome it, ways to achieve your goals, even though doubt is going to inevitably poke its head around at some point or another. So thanks for listening. I truly appreciate it. I hope you enjoyed. If you want to work with me on changing your mindset, you can reach me at rebecca-paisley.com. Follow along on Instagram or TikTok at Rebecca__Paisley. And shop Toxin-Free products at elementalwellnessshop.com. I hope to see you again soon on another video. Feel free to subscribe to the channel if you enjoyed this, and have a great night.